On January the 14th, we'd just dropped two friends off at the LAX airport, and we're going down 605, noticed that I had chest pains, thought it was maybe heartburn or something, but it progressively got worse and worse to the point that when we went off 605 onto I-10, and I said to her, like when we get back down to La Quinta, I better go to the hospital. We went about,
20
minutes and we were at Covina, and I seen a sign on the side of the road that said hospital. So I just said to her, listen, we better go off here. I don't think I'm gonna make it. We went down there and we went in the wrong entrance. I went up to the door and it was dark, but there was a woman standing there. And I said to her, is it closed? And she said, yeah, till 8 o'clock. And I said, well, I think I'm having a heart attack. And she said, oh, go around the other side. There's an emergency section. Went around there, went in the door. The receptionist asked me a couple of questions, and then I was gone. But yeah, I died on the floor. And it's the first time I've talked about it like this. So yeah, I was gone, and that's the last thing I remembered. And then Deb stepped in, and she can tell you what she did after that.
I'd just come in because I parked the car, and I'd just come in, and I'm looking at him, and a doctor actually came out of the ER. It's locked, and a doctor came out of the ER, and he called this patient, and the locked door was just closing, and he died and just collapsed straight onto the floor off of his chair. And I got it just as the latch, and I just kicked the door open into the ER, and I'm just screaming, my husband's having a heart attack, help, help. And 3 heads stuck out from all these different curtains. The next minute, chairs go flying, and these 3 doctors all come running out, and they pulled him back onto his chair. They took the whole chair in. They had, did everything,
Zappers.
The zappers, and yeah, it was just amazing. It was just so, amazing.
If I was in a hospital in Australia, I'd be dead. I know for a fact. But I'd still be sitting in the queue, if I was in Australia in a hospital and there was 30 people in front of me that had a cold or a runny nose, they'd see all them and I would have been dead in the chair, But then took me upstairs, and Dr. Samant did the stent, and I woke up about, 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. This all happened between 8 o'clock and most probably midnight, and then I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning like I was brand new. And the whole time I was in there, I never needed I didn't have anything for pain or anything. I couldn't believe how easy they made it, The nurses, the ER crew, everybody were unbelievable. Doctor, everything.
Because we had Minnie in the car outside, so the nurses were fantastic. They and administration, they sent security out to my car to make sure our dog was all right, and the nurses came out and walked my dog and took her toilies. It was just amazing. There's one place in the hospital where the cell phone works, and it's at this one window. So they said, I said, I really need to go and call my friends to come and get my dog and everything. So I'm there, and that's when it really hit me, and I started, crying, and I'm trying to talk to my friends. And next minute, this orderly's walking past this young bloke, and he walked past. I sort of looked up, and next minute he'd come back and he's got a chair for me, and I'm just in a hallway beside a window. So all of a sudden I'm sitting on a chair. Next minute a elderly nurse, she came over and she saw me. So she came back with a box of tissues for me. And then another young nurse, she came over with a glass of water, and she's like, I don't know, what's happened, but I think you might need this as well, you know. And all of a sudden I'm sitting from squatting next to a window, you know, I'm sitting on a chair, I've got tissues, I've got water, you know, it's just amazing. Then we go up into the room and they've got him all settled and everything. And I said to the nurse there, I said, look, I said, I'm going to go out and call my family. I said, you know, because we're from Australia, I need to let the kids and everything know what's happened. So I went out to my car and I'm sitting out there on the phone to my mum, and I get a tap tap on the window, and it's a nurse, and she wants to give me a blanket because it's cold outside. You know, I didn't even know they knew that I was out in my car, you know, it's just amazing. Wow. And I'm on the phone to my mum, and mum's going, are you serious? I go, I know. I go, I'm out in the car. And then I went back in and I said to the nurse, I said, do you mind, the night nurse, I said, do you mind if I stay here? I said, I'm not, and she's like, no, no, definitely. And they got me a recliner chair, they got me blankets, pillows, everything. And I was like that for 2 days, and then that was in the CCU. Then they transferred us, I think it was ICU, and we're in there for one night. And I had 2 normal chairs and they were going to get me a recliner, but I climbed up on the bed with him.
You better
I hope I don't get anyone in trouble. But I just climbed up next to him and we fell asleep. And we woke up and the night nurse had brought out fresh hot blankets, like they're out of a dryer or somewhere, you know, and she's put them over the top of us and they just left us there. So, and it was the first real sleep either of us got for, you know, for the 3 nights there. It was just, yeah. They took fabulous care of us. It was, and I wasn't even a patient, and they looked after me as well as what they did with Barry. You know, they were, even Dr. Cement was just, you know, he kept coming in and making sure I was all right as much as what he was,
and
making
the meals
sure he
were
was
good
all right.
too.
Yeah.
They give you a menu, you can pick what you want off it. I
Beef
thought, how good is this? Yeah. Like Ritz-Carlton. Lucky it happened there, that's all I can say. I think if we had been in any other hospital, I wouldn't be here, for sure.